Thank you very much. I want to start by thanking President Yoon of the Republic of Korea for hosting this third Summit for Democracy. It's an important time. Thank you for leading on this. 2024 will be the biggest election year in history, with countries representing more than half the world's population going to the polls. Unfortunately, many of these elections are unlikely to meet the criteria of what academic experts would view as free and fair. In Russia, the recent presidential election was stacked in favor of the current leader. For those of us who do run free and fair elections, we have to continue our work to improve our democracies. For example, earlier today, discussions around the importance of inclusion and youth empowerment will hopefully lead to more young people participating in their communities and countries.
What country is the Queen of England from, originally?
I definitely don't know.
No, give me your best guess. I guess a country.
What is a country again?
Give me a guess.
This is embarrassing. What is a country? What is a country? What is a country? Canada.
Yes. Do you know what time this is?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. 245.
Yes. Do you know what country the Great Wall of China is in?
Country?
Yeah. If you had to guess.
Japanese?
Yes. Do you know what the third month of each year is?
Ain't that leap year or some shit?
Yeah. Do you know what 15% of 100 is?
Fuck.
Around what it is, if you had to guess.
Probably like 75. I don't know.
Yes. Do you know what country we gained our independence from?
Spain.
Yes. How many inches are in 2 feet?
I don't know.
Around how many inches? If you had to guess.
5.
We're all facing a series of challenges, new and old. We're still reeling from a pandemic that put immense pressure on our democracies. We're seeing growing distrust of government.
What is this lady doing? Trampling horses. Stop it. Oh my God. They just trampled this lady. They just trampled that lady. They just fully trampled that lady.
Media and increased polarization exacerbated by misinformation and disinformation. We're dealing with insecurity caused by armed conflicts and climate change.
2024 begins with wars burning in Gaza, Sudan, Ukraine, and elsewhere. Peacemaking is in crisis.
So today, I'm announcing that Canada is investing $8.4 million on research across the global south to better understand how climate change interacts with democratic decline.
How so were you censored? Like, what did you say that was?
They put a like a warning label on the article that was being shared. That was the initial article announcing the book, saying this contains misleading and false information. It's not true. It didn't contain a single piece of false information, and misleading is a really subjective thing, right?
What did you say that they objected to?
The main issues were, I point out that we're not in the midst of a mass extinction. A mass extinction is when 75 or 90% of all species on Earth are extinct or going extinct. In fact, only 6% of species are critically endangered, and most of them should or will survive. The other one is I pointed out that natural disasters are not getting worse. Deaths from natural disasters have declined over 90% over the last 100 years. We're just much better at dealing with hurricanes and floods and non-climate related disasters like earthquakes as well. And so what they respond, on the disasters, they point out that there's some evidence that hurricanes are becoming somewhat more intense, but then they leave out the fact that the best available science predicts that hurricanes will become 25% less frequent, but 5% more intense, North Atlantic hurricanes. But even that doesn't matter because we're just so much better at preparing for hurricanes. So like vanishingly few people die. I think something like in the most recent year, I think 2019, something like 400 Americans died of natural disasters, right? It's like 300 because I was like 300 times more people died of drug deaths in the United States than from natural disasters. I mean, this is how these two books work together. Is me as someone that considers myself liberal or moderate. I used to be progressive. I don't use that label anymore. But my view is the drug crisis is objectively a much bigger threat to human life and to civilization than climate change. Like, we're adapted really well to climate change. We should do something about it. It's real. There are risks associated with it. But like, there's no scenario in the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change of climate change killing 93,000 Americans a year. In fact, there's no scenario of it increasing deaths from natural disasters at all.
These initiatives will also help protect the human rights of environmental defenders. On top of the uncertainty caused by different crises, we're also seeing direct threats to individuals globally through transnational repression. This is why Canada is increasing and expanding its funding for Access Now to ensure human rights defenders and others facing digital threats have the resources they need to protect themselves.
It would have been more appropriate for Mr. Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, to address this House according to Article 144, an article which was specifically designed to debate violations of human rights, democracy and the rule of law, which is clearly the case with Mr. Trudeau. Then again, a Prime Minister who openly admires the Chinese basic dictatorship, who tramples on fundamental rights by persecuting and criminalizing his own citizens as terrorists, just because they dared to stand up to his perverted concept of democracy, should not be allowed to speak in this House at all. Mr. Trudeau, you are a disgrace for any democracy. Please spare us your presence.
We stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for